A very good afternoon and welcome to Mount Waverley Reserve for round 10 action in Swiss Wellness VFL Women's.
I don't know all the players, so.
First quarter with Melbourne Uni going away from the pavilion end of the ground. Anthony Stangett's with you today as Eva goes inside forward 50, looking up for Hope. Not able to get the ball forward. Scott tackled to the ground. Here's an opportunity for Uni. Hutchins, good intercept over the football. Umpire letting the play go early in this contest already. Berry, wide handball. Carney kicks long from 50 metres out, straight through the middle. And the first on the board in this contest. Just a couple of minutes into the contest. And that is the first on the board for Melbourne Uni. And they lead 1 goal straight. Eastern Devils yet to score. As I mentioned, Anthony Stangett's with you, joined for the first half. A very good afternoon to Emma King. Good afternoon, Emma.
Good afternoon, how you going?
Going very well. Unfortunate to see you on the sidelines and not out in the park today.
I know, first game out for an injury, so yeah, it's a bit hard to watch from the sideline.
Well, thanks for joining us for the first half of this clash today. We'll keep an eye on the contest as Stevens now with the ball on the wing, broadcasting at Mount Waverley Reserve today. With junior finals on at Mulgrave Reserve, the normal home of the Eastern Devils. So Privatelli goes long along the broadcast side wing. Berry. That was Bailey Hunt with the ball, and we'll see the free kick, and we'll come back to Madeline Kerrick. With you're not alone on the sidelines at the moment, Emma, for the Eastern Devils.
No, a couple out.
Mounting injury list.
Yeah.
Seeing at least two debutants today coming into the team in Supple and McFadden.
Yep. It's good to get their run in the VFL side, so see how they go for next season.
Yeah, double figures in the debutants this year, including recruits and players coming through the ranks. As the ball goes over to Caitlin Ashmore, kicks it inside forward 50. Bounce will be crucial. Coming out to meet it was Randall. Steadies, goes outside defensive 50, looking for Livingston on the outer side. Ashmore with the tackle. Ball close to the boundary line. And we will see a ball up. Looking towards later in the season. Congratulations on the announcement as part of the State of Origin game on the AFL bye weekend, named in the Allies squad.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I mean, it's good to have an exhibition game just before the AFL men's final start, and it keeps the interest in the women's footy just before next year.
Yeah, it certainly does. A couple of other your teammates here at the Devils, Sarah Perkins and also Hannah Scott, will be lining up on the opposition with the Victorian team. And speaking of one of them, Sarah Perkins now marking inside forward 50, and a chance to put the Devils' first score of the afternoon on the board.
I reckon she might have the distance.
Just to fourth game back for the Devils this season. Let's see what she can do with it. Stacey Livingston and yourself, the leading goal scorers this year, early on with the absence of Perkins from the side. Certainly got the distance just on the line and rushed through from behind. So the first score on the board for the Devils. They trail Melbourne Uni 1 behind 1 point. Melbourne Uni 1 goal straight 6. And certainly when you come back into the lineup, a different dimension to that forward line once again with yourself, Livingston and Perkins up there, and yourself rotating between the ruck and forward line.
Yeah, I think it's good to the team has to learn. We've got a lot of tools at the Devils this year, so it's a different style of play. We like it up in the air instead of along the ground, so it's good for the team to develop as well.
Certainly is. Privatelli's kick intercepted by Blackburn. She'll attempt to go inside forward 50. Great smother by Carroll. Ball still at forward 50 for Melbourne Uni. Watton with the ball. Goes out to the wide open spaces of the broadcast side wing. Eva leading in the race for it. Good Shepherd and Eva getting a kick away to Spark. Lauren Spark goes deep inside forward 50 again, looking for Hope. Randall got the match up on her today. Berry. Privatelli racking up possessions early in this contest. Probably one of the other players that just back for a 4th game so far this season, and a few of the mainstays of the Devils lineup last year. Perkins, Lambert, Privatelli, between all of them just playing probably only a dozen games between themselves this year, and just coming back into that senior lineup again. Yeah,
just riddled with injuries this year, the Devils are, so it's unfortunate, but you've got to learn from it, and it gives the other girls coming through, like I said before, so it gives them a bit of experience at the highest level.
35 players have played at least one senior game so far this year for the Eastern Devils. We're only at round 10.
I know, 5 to go.
Boundary throw in. Long boundary throw in. Spark get the tap down. Privatelli, another disposal. Alexander.
And another.
Got it back again. Racking them up. Lan gets the ball out of defensive 50. Ashmore couldn't take the mark. What will she do with it? Goes inside to the forward pocket. Ball out of bounds on the full. And we'll see a free kick going the way of the Devils. So yourself through injury, took a bit of a chance to get overseas and have a bit of a break mid-year?
Yeah, it was actually, I was already had the planned break. I only found out my injury when I got back on Thursday, that it was actually broken, so a bit unfortunate. It's 6 weeks from now, so hopefully it's a bit earlier than that. Yeah, you can't do anything about it now, so.
No, definitely not. Boundary throw in, still inside the forward half for Melbourne Uni. Scott at the back. Got the ball away on the outer side now. Perkins ran past it. Now an opportunity for Melbourne Uni. They go inside forward 50 again. Looking long for Moana Hope, and she takes the mark on the long lead. Looking down towards Anderson. Hope plays on now. Kicks long, high up to the goal square. Ashmore takes the mark at the back of the pack. An opportunity to line up for goal number 2 for Melbourne Uni. Perfect position, our broadcast position. She's offline, curled it round too much, and through for one behind. So Uni 117, Eastern Devils one behind. It's unusual the senior setup this year at the Devils, with having gone through 35 players. Actually, there's been 10 players that have played all 9 games for the season, so there's been a bit of continuity in that team, but at the same time you've had all those other players changing around on a regular occurrence.
Yeah, we've got a bit of a base team, which is good for consistency in games. Again, but a little bit of a development season, I suppose.
It certainly is, as McIntosh plays on the unusual role of forward and kicks a goal, and the second on the board for Melbourne Uni, and they move on to 2-1-13 to the Eastern Devils, one behind, 1 point. And players like Meg Hutchins, Lan, Hannah Scott, Steph Carroll, Jess Foster, Stacey Livingston, Sarah McNamara, Jess Sibley and Lou Watton have been the ones that have been there on a regular basis for the Devils so far this season.
Bit of a spine of the club, I suppose.
Yeah, it has been. And I suppose we didn't really mention at the start of the broadcast the importance of the game for the Eastern Devils currently, with the Spurs currently sitting on 7 wins after a win yesterday and 168%. We'll wait for Hope to go goalward. Spark in the front position, and she's received the free kick, and we'll go back and line up from directly in front. So good quick ball movement again by Uni going forward. And working with a couple of key targets today. Hope down in the forward line for a second game. And Spark off to the right-hand side. So another let-off for the Devils. Melbourne Uni move on to 2-2-14. Devils one behind. Scott to bring the ball back into play. We mentioned one of the players that has played all games so far this season. A good season with the Western Bulldogs in VFLW. From the kick in. Down to ground level, Alexander. Now round 10 of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's today. Top 4 clash between Diamond Creek and St Kilda. And St Kilda, just the 4 behinds on the board compared to Diamond Creek, no score. Going through McFadden on debut today. Kick intercepted. And the ball. Carney kicking it wide. Good work again by the defence of the Eastern Devils. Privatelli showing she's back into form just at the 4th game of the season.
Just kicked it to her old teammate at Carlton.
That was unfortunate as Stevens through the middle. Good defensive effort again. That was by Sibley. Going through the middle of the ground. Livingston now with the ball. Goes down inside forward 50, looking for the mark and finds it. And another opportunity for the Devils to add their first major of the game. And Nesta within distance.
Oh, it could be on a limit, but I think she might. Yeah, she's going for it.
Let's see what she can do. Tani Nesta, just over the mark, has opportunity now. Uni will look to clear, coming out of defensive 50. They come wide to this broadcast side wing. Good intercept by Watton. Kerrick gets a kick along, Spark by herself. Eva now in trouble, got a kick away though. Berry now, ground level. Trying to extract it, good work by Spark, gets it out wide to Eva. Eva long to half forward, running past it, McGeoch. In the back of Hope, no free kick. Carney taking the ground now, the umpires found the free kick, and it will go the way of Melbourne Uni. So Emma Carney, inside forward 50, was looking for Anderson, couldn't find her. Good clearing kick once again, Carroll. The intercept by Spark. Inside forward 50 again, and the mark taken this time by Dahlia Edward. And she'll line up from, we're just on 40 metres out here at Mount Waverley Reserve. And just unfortunate for the Devils, a bit of kick-to-kick coming out of defence on rotation at the moment.
Yeah, I think we're a bit rushing it a bit and kicking it straight back to where they're standing.
Let's see what she can do. Dahlia Edward hits over the hands of Lou Watton on the line, and the 3rd goal on the board for Melbourne Uni. They move on to 3-2-20, leading the Eastern Devils 1 behind. And chatting to Brendan Major prior to the game, was mentioning that we're looking to almost slow the play down a bit in today's game, but we probably just haven't seen that in the first quarter from the Devils yet.
Yeah, I think Melbourne are a bit on top at the moment. They're a very fast side, so that's probably why we were going for a slow-paced game. Yeah, a bit nervous, I think.
So ball back in the middle. Comes out Kerrick. Kicks up towards half forward, but there to stop it is Scott. She'll kick up towards half forward as well. Devil just struggled to get it past the half forward line. Pound goes out wide for Uni. She's got the numbers. McIntosh further afield. Kick not direct to her, but she will pick it up. Just her 3rd game of the season. Kicks up towards Spark, who's been lively across the half forward line. Berry creating the contest and sees the ball over the line, and we'll have a boundary throw in. So 4.5 minutes left in this first term. Melbourne Uni with a strong start. Around the grounds, Box Hill leading Cranbourne by a goal. As Blackburn gets a kick inside forward 50, looking for Hope. Round the corner, long to the goal square. Good one-on-one contest. Eva with the crumbs. And snaps through her first. And the fourth goal for Melbourne Uni. They move on to 4-2-26 to the Devils, one behind, 1 point. And creating a good contest in defence at the moment, the Devils, but just the roving play by Melbourne Uni proving some of the differences in the contest.
Yeah, Eva got good front and centre just then, so make sure we stop that in the coming quarters.
So ball back towards the middle. Looking around the ground, still St Kilda 4 behinds. Diamond Creek yet to score. Ball held up in the middle, and we'll have a secondary ball up. From the tap down, Kerrick got a kick away. Up towards forward 50. One-on-one contest with Hope and Randall. Now Randall takes it out. Up towards the middle of the ground, looking for Livingston. Sweeping handball out wide, looking for Harvey. Got a kick away, long up towards the half forward line. Better work, Lambert. Keeps the ball in play. Players calling for out of bounds. Hasn't gone there just yet. And it will be Carney bouncing her way outside of defensive 50. Leading up towards Spark. Good defensive work by Sibley. Now coming through the middle, Scott. Scott will go long. She's offline to the left. Bouncing football still in play. Livingston a chance. Centering kick. Finds her teammate. And Jess Foster will line up to try and put through the Devils' first goal nearing quarter time. Centering kick. Good talk. I suppose when Sarah Perkins is down there and demands the football.
Yeah, you don't want to get in her way.
Certainly don't. She called for it. Teammate elected to give it to her, and Sarah Perkins will line up. Getting that first goal before quarter time, crucial for the Devils. Trailing by 25 points. Let's see what they can do. Perkins lines up directly in front. Beautiful
Easy.
kick off the boot. And through for the first major for the Eastern Devils nearing quarter time. 1-1-7 Melbourne Uni 4-2-26. And better use of the ball and finding those options in that forward 50 on this occasion.
Yeah, I was just thinking they were quite calm and collected in the inside 50, so hopefully they can continue that across the field for the rest of the game.
Just the 60 seconds left till quarter time in this match. The Devils getting their first on the board after 4 unanswered by Melbourne Uni to start. Lockland got a handball away. Carney now traps it. It's through the middle of Mount Waverley Reserve. Has a bounce. Handball's over the top. Ibrahim. She goes long to the goal square. Randall and Hope. Great contest there, enjoying today. Randall with the punch away. Privatelli again. Got the kick. Hutchins. Chain of handballs. Coming out of defensive 50 now. Kick intercepted on the outer side wing. Under 30 seconds left. Good intercept by Livingston. Probably still one last opportunity if they move the ball quickly. There's no one inside forward 50 for the Devils though. So there's going to be no one to kick to for Carroll. She goes long. 10 seconds left in the quarter. Bouncing football in front of Hay. Gets her kick away along the outer side. And that is quarter time. And at quarter time, Melbourne Uni 4-2-26. Leading the Eastern Devils 1-1-7. Emma, your thoughts on the first term?
I think just Melbourne Uni are using their opportunities better, so they're being more effective in the inside 50.
Welcome back to the second quarter live here at Mount Waverley Reserve. Round 10 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Action. Anthony Stangetz and Emma King with you for the first half. And at quarter time, 4-26. Melbourne Uni to the Eastern Devils 1-1-7. Ball goes up towards half forward. And that front spot again, Edward. Couldn't take the mark. Scott with a kick away, kicks up towards the half forward line. And Lambert on the long lead. She goes long, looking for Perkins. Takes the mark.
Definitely in range there.
Yeah, and already strong play from the Devils. Finding their targets down the field, which was something that was a miss in the first quarter. Perkins, the goal scorer, a couple of minutes before quarter time. Let's see what she can do to start the second term. Lines it up, might fall just short. No, it doesn't. Through for one behind on the right-hand side of the post. And Melbourne Uni quick to play on. Eva. Being long down the ground towards Spark. Been handy at centre half forward today for Melbourne Uni so far. Along this broadcast side wing. Free kick's been found for a push. And it will go the way of the Devils. Play on the call from the umpire. Over the line. Couldn't find McNamara under plenty of pressure, and we'll see a boundary throw in. So a couple of minutes into this second term. So we're mentioning 3 wins so far this year for the Devils. Up against Melbourne Uni, who have had the 6 wins. After a defeat to St Kilda in the last round, found themselves bundled out of the top 4. So they're a game behind the Western Spurs, who won yesterday. 4-goal victory up against Seaford. Around the ground scores, and Box Hill leading Cranbourne 1-1-7 to no score at quarter time. And in the other game, the top 4 clash, last score coming through was St Kilda, 4 behinds. Diamond Creek yet to score. A Spark goes inside forward, 50 again. And Anderson on the long lead. And a score change at Diamond Creek. St Kilda 1-4-10 leading Diamond Creek, just the one behind. So be interesting, could the Sharks do it 2 weeks in a row as Anderson goes to goal and it kicks her first. And the 5th through for Melbourne Uni. They move on to 5-2-32, leading the Eastern Devils 1-2-8. And we've gone just over 3 minutes in the second quarter. And again, finding their targets as they're going towards that forward line. Lauren Spark giving them plenty leading up the ground early in this game.
Yep, they've got some good patterns of play the last couple of minutes.
So an opportunity again. Livingston goes long out of the middle. No mark taken. Lambert, can she crumb it and goal it? Yes, she can. Uni's calling for touched. Umpire coming to converse with the field umpire. He doesn't believe it's been touched. Perkins giving the all clear. And the goal umpire giving the all clear as well. Second goal on the board. And it goes the way of the Eastern Devils. They move on to 2-2-14. Melbourne Uni 5-2-32. And Livingston with a big bomb out of the middle, getting it forward.
Yeah.
Well, let's see what they can do again this time. So Livingston playing up at centre half forward. Perkins around 25 metres out from goal. And Lambert down in the forward pocket along with Bahana. One of the goal kickers in the last round for the Devils. Tapped down that time by Adams. towards forward 50 for Uni once again. McIntosh at the bottom of the pack, and we will see a ball up. Tapped down by Spark. Scott over the football inside defensive 50. Uni trying to get the handball out. Spark in again at the bottom of the pack. And the umpire will come in and we'll have another ball up. So 5.5 minutes gone in this second term. Goal apiece in the second quarter as Watton gets the tap down. Working hard. Berry round the corner. Great goal on the run. And puts it through. So the second goal of the term for Melbourne Uni. They move on to 6-2-38. Eastern Devils at 2-2-14. And again, just those crumbing skills inside forward 50 being shown by Uni.
Yeah, Deanna Berry showed her class in the AFL with those sneaky goals from the pocket, so no surprise she just got one.
So the ball heading back towards the middle. We'll keep you up to date with scores from around the grounds. Box Hill, after their first victory of the season, 2-1-13 leading Cranbourne, yet to score. And Diamond Creek on the board with their first 2 behinds of the game. But St Kilda still leading that match by 8 points, 1-4-10. Back inside forward 50 again. Melbourne Uni long towards the line. Ball at ground level. Blackburn coming through. One-on-one with Scott. Berry at ground level. Spark in the forward pocket. They get it towards Hope in the pocket. Her kick goes across the face of goal. And Hutchins marks, kicks out towards half-back. Livingston didn't take the mark. Caitlin Ashmore fighting for the football, trying to keep inside the forward 50 arc. Umpire will come in and we'll have another ball up. So Diamond Creek, as we mentioned, sitting on top of the ladder. St Kilda in that third spot going into this week's clash. The handball goes back, finds Blackburn. Good defensive work by the Devils. Now bursting through the middle. They open it up towards centre half forward. There's no one inside forward 50, but Perkins snaffles it. Can she get up? She gets onto the right boot and bounces it through. What a goal.
What a celebration.
With no one inside forward 50, she had to trap it. The bounce had to suit her. And gets her second goal of the afternoon on the board. And that's what we enjoy about it's not only just seeing the goals, it's seeing the celebrations from Sarah Perkins.
Means a lot, that's why it's a good celebration.
Yeah. So, in only a 4th game of the season, kicks her second of the match and cuts the margin back to 18 points. The Devils 3-2-20, trailing Melbourne Uni 6-2-38. A couple of goals apiece this term for both teams. Devils now just needing to get that run of goals to help them. Haven't been able to do that in the game so far as Hope gets the free kick. Looking for some action inside forward 50, not receiving it at the moment, but she goes out wide. Finds her target in Edward. Lines it up, goes long, and Dahlia Edward puts it through. And the quick reply, and that's not what the Devils wanted. They move on to 7-2-44. Leading the Eastern Devils, who are 3-2-20. Halfway through that this second term, round 10 action of Swiss Wellness VFL Women's. And just need to get a bit of momentum, the Devils, which, again, Melbourne Uni doing a fantastic job of stopping.
Yeah, hopefully we can get 2 on the trot.
They're waiting for the
Keep
ball.
them a bit quiet for the rest of the quarter.
Ball to return to the middle. Watton in the middle, up against O'Brien. O'Brien, a late inclusion into today's game with Lou Stevenson. A late omission. A defensive effort once again by Randall. Kerrick takes it, puts it inside forward 50. Bouncing football leading out in the race for it was Anderson. Long kick by Edwards towards the open goal square. Bouncing football. Hope traps it. Gets it onto Eva. Snap round the corner. And she's put it through. So another great crumbing goal by Alicia Eva. It's her second. And at 2 in a row, which is not what the Devils wanted. Moves on to 8-2-50. Leading the Eastern Devils, who are 3-2-20. So just a couple of seconds ago, it was an 18-point margin, but quickly back out to 30 points of difference, Emma.
Back out again. Yeah, hopefully we can just contain them for the rest of the quarter and regroup at halftime.
So 8.5 minutes left in this second term. Back-to-back goals going the way of Melbourne Uni. Ball up. Forward half for the Devils. Perkins with 2 goals so far. Alicia Eva also with 2 goals in this contest. Free kick will go the way of Watton. Watton goes out wide. Short chip kick. Supple. First gamer. Kicks long to the pocket. Looking for Perkins, too far for her. Just mentioning to the umpire that she might have been held. And we'll see a boundary throw in. Opportunity now for the Devils. As we mentioned, they cut the margin back to 18 points. Now back out to 30 inside their forward 50. Uni brings it out. Hope intercepts. Randall, her direct opponent, chased after it. And the ball coming back. Eva in front of the scoreboard here at Mount Waverley Reserve. Ball goes over the line. And we'll have a boundary throw in. So boundary throw in out of side here, Mount Waverley Reserve. Kick away from Madeline Kerrick. Ball goes out wide, out of bounds on the full. So a chance for the Devils once again to regroup. Bahana. Looking for Hutchins. Ball now in favour of the Devils. Comes out Harvey. Slung to the ground. Livingston can get a handball away, but goes in for the second effort. Running run in front of our broadcast position at Mount Waverley Reserve. Good work to trap the ball in. We'll have a ball up. 40 metres out from the Devils' goal. Carney tackled. Dispossessed. Devils go long towards goal. Long and direct. And Sophie Alexander puts through her first of the afternoon. Much needed goal for the Devils. They kick their fourth. They move on to 4-2-26. Trailing Melbourne Uni 8-2-50. We haven't seen many of those opportunistic ones go the way of the Devils yet today.
No, I think Soph's new to footy this year, especially the VFL, first season in VFL and the Devils, and she just still plays on instinct, which is really good to see in women's footy. So straight for goal and went through.
So free kick in the middle. It might have been for a ruck infringement over the line, but not sure. Melbourne Uni Eva goes out wide. Has a teammate in Edward. Edward centering kick and finds Stevens. Long way from her defensive role. Inside forward 50. They trap the ball. They get it onto Carney. Got the ball away. Lachlan back into the team this week. Taken to the ground, and free kick is found. Umpire took a while to react. Finally found the free. Ball comes out wide now. It's for the Devils to work off half back. Looking for Perkins. Ball comes the back of the pack. Saundry bumped off the ball. Perkins. Long and goalward pound. Met it strongly. She kicks in towards the middle. Finds McIntosh. Now they've got the numbers. Eva out wide. They'll bounce their way along the outer side wing. Giving good chase, Meldrum. The mark taken by Lachlan. Nothing to kick to at the moment. Comes out wide. Great intercept that time by Lan. Now the Devils move it up towards forward 50. Looking for Foster, but Pound stayed back and took the mark. Now a kick wide going across the ground. Shearlaw, leading goal scorer for Uni in the last round. They lost to the Sharks. Carney. Lachlan bounce just not suiting her. Good work by Scott. Now through the middle of the ground. Bahana up towards half forward. Finds Lambert. Now looking for Foster between two opponents. The work by the defensive Uni and Saundry. Ball held in. Ambitious kick inside forward 50 with the two Melbourne Uni defenders there.
Yeah, I think we just need to lower our eyes and try and find the cleanest target we can.
Tapped down by Perkins. Lachlan tried to get her hands on it. Perkins again got the ball out. Lambert and Perkins at ground levels. The ball goes out wide to McIntosh for Uni. 8:2:50 plays at 4:2:26. Melbourne Uni in the lead. Under 3 minutes left in this second term. Bahana again up towards half forward. Finds Livingston. Bit of direct football by the Devils. Up towards Foster. Couldn't take it. McIntosh now weaves her way outside a defensive 50. Looks up the ground. Looking for Edward. He's been lively during this term. That was Stevens onto McIntosh. Blackburn sweeping handball. Too far for Carney. Now the one-on-one contest. What can they do? Carney traps the football. Ignored Saundry. Goes up towards half forward. Bounce will be crucial. Falls in the way of Anderson. Leading in the race, Berry. Oh, big bump off the football by Scott. Ball coming back. Privatelli now. And mark taken. Johns. A big legal bump by Hannah Scott on Deanna Berry. Bahana now going out wide. Going to run the ball off the half-back line. On the switch. Now up towards half forward. Better play by the Devils. Finds Livingston. Under a minute and a half left in this term. At the back of the pack, Saundry takes a strong mark. And will settle the play down again for Uni. Carney. Held on to it. Spark. Onto Pound. Kick smothered. Almost one last roll of the dice for the Devils. It's inside their forward half. Sibley long up towards centre half forward looking for the marking target. Mark's going to be paid.
She's in front.
Lan takes the mark. Played all 9 games so far this season. 30 seconds left on the clock. Perkins just couldn't get the handball away. Blackburn getting the handball out of the pack. 20 seconds left for the term. Eva showing some speed on the outer side. Kicks it in front of herself, picks it up. Gets around her opponent. Good intercept that time by Bahana. Time ticking away in this term for the chances of both teams. Berry Couldn't get it, but that is half time. Round 10 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action. And entertaining second term. Melbourne Uni kicking 4 goals to the Devils 3. And at halftime, Melbourne Uni 8-50. Eastern Devils 4-26. Emma King, final words from you before you leave us from the first half of this game.
I think the Devils, we just need to regroup. Play. We had a couple good plays right near the end. Just need to calm down and lower the eyes and look for the targets. Is probably the best way we need to play. Just make sure we're accountable to Melbourne's fast-paced game style.
Well, Emma, thanks for joining us in commentary for the first half of today's game. We look forward to seeing you, if not back out in the park. Welcome back to the second half of the round 10 clash. Swiss Wellness VFL Women's between the Eastern Devils and Melbourne Uni. Melbourne Uni king towards the left of screen during this third term at half time. 24-point lead the way of Uni. Goal kickers up until half time in this match. 2 each to Edward and Eva for Melbourne Uni. Singles each to Berry, Carney, McIntosh, and also Anderson. Ball right in front of our broadcast position. Here at Mount Waverley Reserve today. Change of venue for the Eastern Devils away from their home ground of Mulgrave Reserve. Boundary throw in. Wanton at the back. Quick tap down. Got it the way of Lambert. Her kick intercepted by McIntosh. McIntosh inside forward 50, looking for Ashmore. Leading in the race for the football, just needs to trap it. Does so now. Centering kick offline and out of bounds on the full. And we'll have a free kick going the way of the Devils. Also in the first term, or first half for the Eastern Devils, major goal scorer for the Devils, Sarah Perkins with 2, 1 in each quarter. And Alexander and Lambert with 1 apiece. Scott to bring the ball back into play. Very big thank you to Emma King joining us during the first half of this clash. Ashmore centering kick looking for Spark, who's been great so far in this clash. And Lauren Spark will line up directly in front. Chance to put her first on the board of the game. Has been strong across the half-forward line today for Uni. Puts it straight through the middle. Gets her first of the afternoon. We'll probably notice Lauren Sparks' face from our normal VFL.com.au graphics throughout the season, attending the Players' Day at the VFL Women's season launch at the start of the year. And the head-to-head matchups that often go up on our social media. Around the grounds at half-time, St Kilda 1-4-10 led Diamond Creek 1-3-9. And Box Hill 3-2-20 led Cranbourne. Yet to score. Handball out to Randall off half-back. Lachlan back into the team today. Back from injury. Dives over the football. I mentioned in the first half, 3 representatives from the Eastern Devils named in the State of Origin clash. Victoria versus the Allies. And they were Perkins, King and Scott. Melbourne Uni, one of the most represented VFL women's clubs. 5 players named in that team. Blackburn, Ashmore, Eva, Carney, and also Nicola Stevens as well. A couple of those players playing for different AFL women's teams in season 2018. With that game being played on the AFL bye weekend at the start of September. Big double header of matches between the AFL Women's State of Origin and also the AFLW Under-18s All-Australian squads, and they'll go head-to-head with the All-Australian squad to be selected at the end of that clash. And Sarah Perkins an opportunity to line up for goal number 3 of the afternoon. Looking for a 4th game of the season. Goal umpire does not move. Perkins has her 3rd on the board. And cuts that margin back again to 24 points. Melbourne Uni 9-2, 56. Eastern Devils 5-2, 32. Ball back in the middle. Lachlan up towards half forward, looking for Ashmore. McIntosh, good pickup. Goes long. This has been a great battle all day between Randall and Hope. Randall just keeps the ball in play. Great shepherd there on the line from McGeoch. Ashmore with the intercept. Right in front of our broadcast position here, Randall. Holds it up again. Double tackle from Ibrahim and Ashmore. Watton and Spark. And the free kick will go the way of Spark. On push out. Umpire explaining it. A free kick now to Lauren Spark. An opportunity for her to attempt 2nd goal of the day. Kicked 6 goals so far this season. Only no Melbourne Uni players in double figures this year. Hope in the corner. Can she curl it round the corner? Yes, she can. Perfectly positioned in our broadcast position. 10th goal on the board for Melbourne Uni. They move on to 10-2-62. To the Eastern Devils 5-2-32. That margin back to 30 points. Hope kicking her 2nd goal of the season in her 2nd match for Melbourne Uni. Ball up back in the middle. Tapped down by O'Brien. Foster with the wide handball. Fighting for it again, Foster. Kick and miss. Lachlan fighting in over for the football. Good smother off the boot. Ball going nowhere in the middle of Mount Waverley Reserve. And we will have another ball up. Around the grounds of round 10 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action. Darebin 13-point winners over Geelong on the Saturday. VU Western Spurs 25-point victors over Seaford. Kicked 4 goals in the first term. Didn't kick another goal for the rest of the game, but still came up with a victory. So too Darebin over Geelong. Darebin with their only 2 goals of the game in the first term out at Icon Park. Geelong bringing up a late goal in the final term, but it was too late for them. 13 points the margin. In other games so far today, Box Hill leading Cranbourne. 3-2-20 to no score going into the second half. And Diamond Creek having hit the lead up against St Kilda. 2-6-18 to St Kilda 2-4-16. So a 2-point ball game in the third term. with goals to Gay and Harris for St Kilda and Loynes and Gretsch for Diamond Creek. Boundary throw in, 30 points the margin, nearly halfway through this second term. Scott just giving Ibrahim some attention. Handball comes out, good work from Edward. Free kick's been found. And we'll go the way of Kerrick. Long, looking for Shearlaw and finds Spark again. And we'll line up from directly in front. A chance to put through her second of the afternoon on the board. Long, direct, and straight through the middle. 11th on the board for Melbourne Uni. They move on to 11-268 to Eastern Devils 5-232. Lauren Spark, 2 goals in this third quarter, becoming the third multiple goal kicker today for Melbourne Uni, along with Eva and Edward. Of course, leading goal scorer on the park in this match for the Eastern Devils, Sarah Perkins, with 3 goals. Ball up, O'Brien. Supple in the middle on debut. Nicola Stevens. Out towards Eva territory. Over the top, she's got Spark again. She's had a fantastic game. She's going to direct kick inside forward 50. Hope couldn't trap it. Good work that time by Meldrum. She was able to trap it. Now in the forward pocket, what can McIntosh produce? Centering kick. Couldn't hold on to it on that occasion with Shearlaw. Ball the call. It's called throw, it looked like. So the free kick will go the way of Hannah Ibrahim. Tying up from directly in front. And a chance to extend this margin again for Melbourne Uni. Devils getting as close as 18 points during the second term. Ibrahim makes no mistake. And the third goal of this term, I should say the fourth goal of this term, going through the middle for Melbourne Uni. Hannah Ibrahim having her first of the afternoon. The 12th on the board for Melbourne Uni. They move on to 12-2-74. Eastern Devils 5-2-32. Ball back in the middle. Tapped down that time by Adams. Stevens kicks out wide. Spark couldn't take it this time. Sibley kicks along the broadcast side wing. Pound and Lambert. Good work by Lambert to affect the spoil. Ball over the boundary line, and we'll see a boundary throw in. Broadcast side wing. Kick forward by Ibrahim again. Blackburn being held. Devils leading the race for the football. Handball over the top. Besieged by Uni players. That was Supple on debut. Centering kick. Blackburn couldn't take it, bringing her to ground. Here's a Nesta. Ball in the middle of Waverley Reserve. And we will see a ball up. 7 minutes left in the third term. Melbourne Uni trying to regain a spot inside the top 8. Ibrahim, rundown tackle. Got rid of the football umpire, I believed, as Ashmore also held up. Ball the call. Meldrum Gets it back to Privatelli. Finds it short to Hutchins. She goes long along the outer side wing. Target was Bahana. To Blackburn, inside forward 50 again. No one to kick to as the ball goes over the line. And we will see a boundary throw-in. 6 minutes left, third term. Melbourne Uni's run home. 3 of the last 4 games at home, taking on the VU Western Spurs and Cranbourne, followed by Box Hill, and then a big clash just before the bye weekend and before the finals, taking on Diamond Creek. Eastern Devils, a loss today would all but end their final chances with 4 rounds left to go. They take on St Kilda, Seaford and Geelong twice in a row to finish off the season. Back in towards the middle, Nesta. Got the ball away, kicked by Alexander. Up towards half forward. At back of the pack, Berry. Gets it up to Ibrahim. And lively over the last few minutes, dispossessed. Great tackle by Hutchins. Has been rewarded. She'll set up the play for the Devils. Just the 1 goal. 1 goal to 4 this term. Melbourne Uni taking control of this game. Bahana. Side forward 50 finds Lambert. Lambert just the just her 5th game of the season. Already taking a goal tally to 6 in the season so far. She goes goalward, across goals and out of bounds on the full. We'll see a free kick going the way of Melbourne Uni. Going across goal. Great work by Lambert with the intercept punch. And we'll see a boundary throw in deep in the left forward pocket. Perkins v Adams in the ruck. Deep in the left forward pocket. Umpire's found a free, and the free will go the way of Perkins. So a chance to line up for her 4th of the afternoon. And cut that margin that's jumped out to 42 points. During this third quarter, Perkins lines up. Direct approach. 6th goal on the board for the Eastern Devils. We move on to 6-2-38. Melbourne Uni 12-2-74. Sarah Perkins in her 4th game back for the season, kicking her 4th goal. Looking at the leading goal scorers this year for the Eastern Devils, Stacey Livingston in her all 9 games has kicked 10 goals so far this season. And next back to Emma King with 9. Lambert, as we mentioned, just the 4 games, but kicked 5 goals in her 4 games so far. Has taken that to 6 in her 5th game of the season. Uni now inside forward 50. Ashmore got on to Kerrick. On to Lachlan. Privatelli. Started the game strongly with a great first term. Livingston now up against Stevens. Bowls over a couple of players, but Lambert has become lively during this 3rd term. Broadcast side wing Pound. Under 2 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Round 10 Swiss Wellness VFL Women's Action live from Mount Waverley Reserve. Anthony Stangett's with you for the second half. Tap down, O'Brien. Lachlan trying to extract it. So to Kerrick. Nesta. And we will have a ball up. Kerrick taken to the ground by Nesta. So we tick inside the final minute of play during the third quarter. Kick away, Alexander. Goes out wide, Pound leading in the race for the football. Overrun it, McFadden. Any fierce tackling on the broadcast side wing. Foster picked it up, a free kick's been brought back. 30 seconds left. They'll need to move it very quickly. Johns gets it on to Alexander. Ground level, free kick's been found, it has. And the kick for goal will be right before the three-quarter time siren. And guess who? Sarah Perkins to take the kick and line up for goal number 5 of the match so far. Siren will sound before she kicks it. Right on cue. Sarah Perkins. 4th game back this year for the Devils. Right behind her. Has it got the distance? It has. 5th goal of the game for Sarah Perkins. 3 goals during the third quarter. And at three-quarter time, the Eastern Devils 7-44. They trail by 30 points to Melbourne Uni, who are 12-74. A goal kick. Underway in the final term. Round 10, Swiss Wellness VFL Women's action. 30-point lead the way of Melbourne Uni. Sarah Perkins, story of the afternoon, kicking 5 goals, but her team trails by that exact same amount. 30 points the difference between the two teams. Final quarter as Melbourne Uni try and regain a spot in the top 4. Bundled out by St Kilda in the last round. VU Western Spurs sitting on 7 wins. And they'll need to rely, if they win today, they'll need to rely on the result of Diamond Creek versus St Kilda. And St Kilda's percentage takes a bit of a hit in that contest to try and get them back into the top 4 on percentage, because if St Kilda loses, VU Western Spurs will move to 3rd, and Melbourne Uni will be dependent on their percentage. But at three-quarter time, Melbourne Uni leading by 30 points. Diamond Creek leading by 7 points up against St Kilda. And Box Hill, 4-2-26 up against a scoreless Cranbourne to three-quarter time. As Hunt gets a kick out of defence. Got it up towards Anderson. And Spark gets Melbourne Uni off to the perfect start in the final term. Kicks her 3rd goal of the contest. Lauren Spark's been dominant up in the forward line. Sitting up at that centre-half forward position and leading up the ground and giving her team plenty of options throughout the contest. Ball back in the middle. Margin now out to 36 points. O'Brien, late inclusion today for Lou Stevenson, out of the team due to illness. Lambert round the corner, met by Edward. Bursts her way through the middle and kick to kick back to Lambert. So she'll set up the play again for the Devils. Pound through her fingertips. Nesta just drifting back towards goal. Watton long towards Nesta territory. Livingston also in the contest. Hasn't had a major in today's game, Nesta. O'Brien back to Pound. Goes to the outer side. Finds Ashmore. Ashmore long along the outer side. Long lead from McIntosh. Unusual circumstances with McIntosh and Hope in the same forward 50 arc. Normally opponents in the past. So have been for Melbourne Uni and St Kilda, but now teammates inside forward 50 for Melbourne Uni. And I hope in a second game for Uni today. Having kicked one goal during the third term. Snap round the corner from the forward pocket. Kerrick along the outer side, and good strong mark by Ashmore. Goes long up towards forward 50. Sibley leading in the race for the contest. Over again to Spark. Spark goes goalward, wayward this time, but Hope in the forward pocket takes a strong mark and a chance to line up for her second of the afternoon. Takes her time. The banana kick towards goal. Puts it through. Moana Hope kicks her second goal of the game. 14th goal on the board for Melbourne Uni. Adding 2 goals during this final term so far. And 14-2-86. They lead Eastern Devils 7-44. 42-point margin. As we mentioned, the run home for these teams. Melbourne Uni, big game against VU Western Spurs in what could be a third versus fourth clash on the ladder. Will all be dependent on percentages and the results between Diamond Creek and St Kilda today. St Kilda lose to Diamond Creek and they could be do something similar to that they did to Melbourne Uni in the last round and dump them from the top 4. As Melbourne Uni, Saundry marks it half back, kicks it out wide to Eva, a new teammate at GWS Giants. Now on to Pound. Up towards half forward. Ball at ground level, Blackburn. Kicks inside forward, 50, looking for Hope. Ashmore leading in the race for the football. Work by Randall, Lambert, Foster. Up towards centre half forward, looking for Perkins again. And a couple to beat. Still creating the contest though. Hunt gets the handball away. Saundry now. Out towards Ashmore territory once again. Kicks it along and finds McIntosh. McIntosh going towards half forward, looking for Berry. Couldn't take it. Now at ground level. Fighting for the football's Privatelli. And we'll have a ball up. 50 metres out from the Uni goal. 42 points the margin. Free kick's been found, I think, for a throw, and will go the way of Watton. Short chip kick, finds Privatelli, keeps the ball in play. Around the corner finds Saundry. Guest on VFL Rewind last week. Find the replay of that, vfl.com.au, in towards the middle, Blackburn. Spark has had a great game today. Kick round the corner, looking for Eva. Out-muscled her opponent. Now takes the ball 50 metres out from goal. Centering kick. Finds Blackburn. Gets the lead down the middle. And the mark taken, Tapner. And Tapner will mark. And plays on now. No one on the mark. Speaking of the mark, and kicks the goal. Another one through for Melbourne Uni there. 15th. They move on to 15 92-92 to Eastern Devils 7-2-44. Tapner with her first of the afternoon. Melbourne Uni 15 goals now in this contest, 3 of them coming during the final quarter. 4 in the first term, 4 in the second, 4 in the third, aiming towards 4 in the final term as well. They're back inside forward 50, long lead. Sheelaw. Good work by the Devils' defence. Blackburn leading in the race for the football. Gets round the tacklers, gets a kick away. Berry in the contest. Handball over the top. Good work by Ashmore with the intercept. Good, strong mark taken by Bohana. Pound. Kicks long, inside forward, 50 again, McIntosh. Good body work. Good work by the Devils. Dancing their way outside the 50. Playing down behind play for the Devils. Clutching at her shoulder as well. The ball down the field. Foster now with the football. Kicks inside forward 50. Oh, Perkins, strong work. Read the ball well and will line up for goal number 6 of the afternoon. As I mentioned, just a 4th game back of the season. Came back before the bye and then had the bye weekend as well. Perkins, long and direct today. 6th goal on the board for the Adelaide Premiership player. But Melbourne Uni still in the lead. Perkins with her 6th goal of the afternoon. Melbourne Uni 15-2-92 to the Eastern Devils 8-2-50. So ball back in the middle. Halfway through this final term. Livingston on a handball away. Oh, gets it back. Bombs it long towards goal. The bounce will be crucial and off to the right-hand side. Through for another behind. Devils 8-3-51. Melbourne Uni 15-2-92. Pound bring the ball back into play. Slam it strong. No mark paid. Nesta. Good work by McFadden. Centering kick. Kerrick meeting it strongly. Still a 7-point margin between Diamond Creek and St Kilda. Box Hill 4-2-26 to Cranbourne, yet to score. In that Diamond Creek game, leading goal scorer for the season, Chloe Malloy. Not with a major today. Darcy Vesio, the top 2 in the goal-kicking list. Didn't play yesterday for Darebin. And Abatangelo also hasn't kicked a goal today. So the top goal scorers is Kerrick. Oh, bouncing football. Well shepherded in the goal square, but I think the free kick will go the way of the Devils. It will. Holding an opponent in Randall out of the contest. So the ball did go through for a goal. A free kick found, and Randall had a great contest throughout the afternoon with Mo Hope. Stephen on the Saundry. Taken high. She'll put her team back into attack again. 15 goals to 8 in this contest. Good work by Privatelli. Been strong in defence today for the Eastern Devils. As Pound just needs to trap it, keep the ball in play. Up against Hutchins. Now Pound gets it back. Kicks it inside forward 50. Oh, good strong mark. And Berry takes it. And we'll go back to line up for her second of the afternoon. On in the second term. And look to bring up her 10th goal of the season. Kicked 9 so far. Played in all matches this year for Melbourne Uni. Kicks long and off to the right-hand side. Through for another behind. 15-3-93 to Eastern Devils. 8-3-51. Mentioned Berry. 9 goals, edging her as the leading goal scorer this year with Caitlin Ashmore, who's also kicked 9 goals for Melbourne Uni this season. On the kick-in, Berry again in the front spot. Unable to extract it as they try to get their kick away. Handball over the top. Ball still kept in play. Hope meeting her opponent in the forward pocket. That was Johns. And we'll see a ball up. Just over 5 minutes remaining in this round 10 clash. Percentage now key as the ball goes goalward. And offline for Alicia Eva. She's kicked 2 goals in this game. Was aiming at her third. The ball back into play for the Devils. Bringing it along the outer side wing. Blackburn sitting under it. And she'll reset for Melbourne Uni. Goes long up towards centre half forward. Saundry all by herself at centre half forward. Kicks inside forward 50. Testing for Ashmore. Ashmore with the follow-up tackle on McFadden. Ball held up and we'll have a ball up. 70 metres out from the Melbourne Uni goal. 43 points the margin. Handball out to Lachlan. Bouncing football. Ibrahim. Pound. Held without it. And the free kick going to the Devils. So was in possession. And the ball now along the outer side. Looking for Watton at the back of the pack. Mark taken by Uni once again. They'll look up towards half forward, but kick to kick, and Privatelli takes the mark. Goes back inside defensive 50. Now they kick long, a bit more kick to kick as Blackburn takes the mark. Kicks out wide. Spark just lost it in the sun. Ball back up towards half forward. Hope asking for the free kick and receiving. Jumper being held. Now an opportunity inside forward 50. Shearlaw takes the mark and she'll line up. Directly in front and the chance to put the 16th through for Melbourne Uni. An attempt to bring up the 100 for Uni in this contest. Lines it up and swings it back. 16th has been brought up for Melbourne Uni. 16-4-100 to Eastern Devils. 8-3-51. Kate Shearlaw brings up her first and also joins Deanna Berry and Caitlin Ashmore as the leading goal scorers this year for Melbourne Uni with 9 goals apiece. Ball back in the middle. biggest score of the season for Melbourne Uni. Previous biggest score was up against Seaford. So the first time they've kicked more than 12 goals in a game this year. Will certainly be helpful to their percentage, which they'll need in their battle with St Kilda Sharks and also VU Western Spurs in the top 4 as we count down towards finals in Swiss Wellness VFL Women's. A couple of minutes left in this contest. Hope puts it on her boot, goes long, kicks it towards McIntosh, who's sitting right under it. And Celia McIntosh will line up and try and put through this 17th of the afternoon for Melbourne Uni. Lines it up, and McIntosh puts through the 17th. They move on to 17-406 to the Eastern Devils, 8-3-51. McIntosh kicking her second of the game. Just her third game of the season, her last being in mid-June. A handy addition to come back into the side for the second half of the season. Kick goes forward by the Devils. Inside forward 50. Off hands. Great work by Berry. Cleans up onto Eva. They go long. Looking for Spark, who's had a fantastic game, but good punch away on that occasion from Hannah Scott. Around the grounds, Diamond Creek leading by 5 points in the final term. Up against Diamond Creek leading by 5 points up against St Kilda. And Box Hill leading by 20 points up against Cranbourne, looking at back-to-back victories after bringing up their first win of the season in round 9 up against Seaford. And that is the final siren here at Mount Waverley Reserve. And dominant performance by Melbourne Uni after half-time, 9-4 after half-time, and they are victorious in this clash. 17-4, 106. They were 55-point victors over the Eastern Devils, 8-3-51. Looking at the goal kickers today for Melbourne Uni, a number of multiple goal scorers in Alicia Eva, Celia McIntosh, Moana Hope, Lauren Spark kicking 3 goals for Melbourne Uni, and also Dahlia Edwards kicking 2. Singles each to Ibrahim, Berry, Tapner, Carney, Anderson and Shearlaw. For the Eastern Devils, Sarah Perkins in her 4th game of the season kicking 6 goals for the Devils, and then singles each to Lambert and Alexander. But a great game and great performance by Melbourne Uni, their biggest score of season 2017, and it's probably at perfect time for them, needing to win to try and regain their spot on percentage back inside the top 4. It'll all come down to the result between Diamond Creek and the Eastern Devil and St Kilda, with 5 points separating those two teams in the final term, and that is the final result. So St Kilda being defeated, Diamond Creek kicking the final 2 goals of the game and getting the points after St Kilda led in the final term by 5 points, but Diamond Creek kicking the final 2 goals and getting over the line. But that's it from Mount Waverley Reserve. Melbourne Uni 17-4-106 defeating the Eastern Devils 8-3-51. We'll be back next week with our video stream of the Box Hill Hawks and Geelong, and Melbourne Uni next week playing VU Western Spurs. Eastern Devils facing St Kilda away from home. But that's it. We hope you've enjoyed this replay of Eastern Devils versus Melbourne Uni. Anthony Stanget's signing off here from Mount Waverley Reserve on VFL.com.au.